He's gonna shove it. Yeah! He's gonna shove it.
Alright, once again it's the How Bad Can It Be belt. Smack yourself one until it's felt. This is the show where I try to find the worst wrestling show of all time, as chosen by you, the Brick Boys. It's winner stays on, and last time out we actually crowned a new champion for the worst ever episode. And that was, of course, the episode of WCW Nitro from March 8th, 1999. A show that started out with almost an entire hour of the most mind-numbing talking segments. Not a single thing about that hour was enjoyable, and I hated it. Today's challenger was a YouTube comment suggestion from Yellow Kang de... What? Whatever. Apparently this show will be WCW at its most chaotic and Russo-rific. This is WCW Thunder from May 3rd, 2000. But if you know a worse episode of wrestling which deserves the belt, smack it in the comments until it's felt. Let's get into this one. This episode of Thunder comes from Memphis, Tennessee, with a crowd of just 4,000 hangers-on. Immediately in the back, the Millionaires Club are waiting by a door. Hogan's nephew looks extremely unwanted and left out. Why did they just shove him over there on his own? Why was there so much camera focus on him? A limo pulls up, the door rises up and out spills the Millionaires Club. There's a chaotic fight in the car park with the New Blood and the Millionaires Club. It was hard to even see who was actually there. Somewhere else in the back, Russo is screaming at other members of the New Blood for not protecting him earlier.
A wild Slapnuts appears.
Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
Alright, it's just his back, but it still counts alright. Probably the worst Slapnuts appearance of all time. Don't you just love how Vince Russo is the main character on this show? The New Blood come out to the ring and they're quickly joined by the Millionaires crew. Neither of these factions make any sense. Why would Kanyon, Chronic and Hugh Morris be on the Millionaires side? Wouldn't they want to be with the New Blood who are just about pushing younger guys? Russo tells us that tonight every match is going to be New York rules. New York rules means that you choose your own opponent. There's no referees and no DQs. You must also count your own pinfall. Wow, if that really happens tonight, that is going to be something to see. Flair says the Millionaires Club is the most elite group of wrestlers ever assembled. Well, Horace Hogan is there, so I doubt that. A big fight happens. Hulk Hogan looks almost invisible at this point in his career. The Millionaires Club seem to win that fight and the segment ends. Into the first match we go. Why is Jeff Jarrett entering again? He was literally just at ringside a second ago. I find Jeff Jarrett's music extremely depressing. It sounds like something you would hear around an eerie campfire in a ghost town on Red Dead Redemption. It's also a very sad song. I associate it with the death of WCW. Slapnuts has the mic and says he'll make this short. God, I hope so. He calls out Champagne Chris Kanyon and calls him a Hollywood wannabe. Kimberly Page also talks and she says that DDP isn't good enough for her and she's divorcing him. She calls the fans a bunch of wrestling marks. No idea what else she said, I just kind of drifted off and stared at her. Kanyon is finally here. They proceed to have a 2-minute match. Kanyon does a rocker dropper but misses his top rope splash. Somehow in this 2-minute match we have crowd brawling, because every Jeff Jarrett match must have crowd brawling. We come back for that for Kanyon's comeback in the match, 10 punches in the corner followed by a facebuster. Suddenly some loud music plays and Kimberly is about to smash Kanyon with a guitar. DDP joins her in the ring and he takes the guitar away and then smashes her in the head with it. Page hits the diamond cutter on Slapnuts and Kanyon counts his own 3 count. Weird seeing someone use a guitar that wasn't Slapnuts. He picks up the remains of his guitar in shock. In the back, Vince Russo is hyping up the New Blood, specifically the Wall, who Russo calls Big Boy. Wall has been getting a bit of a push lately with a gimmick that he likes to throw people off high things and through tables. He'll be facing Lex Luger in this table match. They slowly stare at each other, standing out of the spotlight. The match doesn't actually start because Russo is here. He's forcing Miss Elizabeth out to the ring. There's a brief stomp down by the Wall before Flair's music hits. Flair and Russo are bickering on commentary. There's barely any focus on the match. There's so much screaming it's hurting my hawk ears. I think the Wall is winning somehow. Nice backbreaker from the Wall. He is winning. Seconds later he misses a big boot and Luger starts his comeback. He acts like he's going for the rack, but then he remembers it's a tables match, so they head out the ring. More screaming and yelling now, and Russo smashes Flair with a baseball bat. Luger has the Wall in the rack. Russo smashes Luger in the gut with a baseball bat, and that causes him to drop the Wall through the table. Luger wins, so the Wall's gimmick is now dead. Russo is in the ring now screaming that he wants to fight Ric Flair right now. What a mess this show is. Franchise and Bagwell attack Flair, but they're run off by Chronic. So many people appearing in 5 minutes of TV. Flair is rolling around in the ring crying as Billy Kidman's music hits. What is going on here? There's no chance for anything to breathe. Kidman says he wants to fight Flair right now. He's going to make Flair famous. so I guess this is a match now. Kidman dropkicks Flair down and hits another dropkick from the top. This match is all hype for Kidman's upcoming match with the Hulkster. Billy Kidman stacks Flair on the top rope and woos, and there's the superplex. Flair's not landed a single move yet. Billy Kidman with a slam now into a springboard leg drop. Really loud Kidman sucks chants. Kidman starts frantically hitting Flair, who falls over before he's finished smacking him one. The top rope splash for Kidman misses, which allows Flair to kick him in the nutsack. Conan and Rey Mysterio run out and they attack Ric Flair. Straight away, Kevin Nash storms out. Rey Mysterio is suddenly so stupid that he's forgotten how to leave the ring. Kevin Nash boots them both in the head. He hits the jackknife on Conan, but Kidman is safe and he bails. But as he goes through the curtain, the generic Harry Hogan smacks him one. Before anything can happen, some more music hits, and here's Mike Awesome. What an idiot. He immediately gets a double big boot from Nash and Hogan. Nash powerbombs Mike Awesome. Gee, I wonder how Mike Awesome was never successful in WCW. Kevin Nash has a microphone now and he announces that the winner of the match due to interference is Mike Awesome. What, so that was a match too then? Come to think of it, why did Kidman get DQ'd against Ric Flair when there's no referees? This is the opposite of the Nitro episode I recently watched. There's so much going on it's almost impossible to keep up. Vampiro is backstage being weird and muttering to himself. No idea what he said. Here comes DDP again. A man is hiding behind a curtain. What the hell? Vampiro walks out, but it's Sting behind the curtain. He beats up Vampiro. He dunks Vampiro in some red liquid and throws Vamp into the ring. Diamond cutter and it's over. What am I even watching at this point? The New Blood are such a weak faction and they never win at anything. In the back again, Vince Russo is screaming at his troops for their losses. The leader of the Grey Crew is lounging and relaxing as he is often known to do. In the other dressing room, the Millionaires Club are having a good night. The next man out is Mike Awesome, who we've already seen get beaten up with ease tonight, so why would anyone want to see him again? Awesome speaks on the mic and reveals that he'll be facing the Stinger tonight. I give this one 1 minute. Awesome tells Sting to fly out like Batman. Sting's awesome music hits. It's legitimately the highlight of the show so far. It's the only thing on this show that deserves to be called awesome. Mike Awesome desperately smacks Sting in the corner and follows it with a slam and a splash. He knows he's losing this one. Sting turns it around and hits one of the nicest but most painful looking atomic drops ever. Mike Awesome bails. He gets beaten up by the Misfits in action at ringside. They roll him back into the ring. 2 Stinger splashes and the Scorpion Deathlock causes Mike Awesome to tap out. These matches all suck, there's too much going on. The New Blood are a joke, this show sucks Sonny Siaki's ass. Russo is back with the New Blood. He's begging Scott Steiner and telling him that he's the last hope. Well, he's right. Scott Steiner looks extremely out of place in that dressing room too. Here comes Steiner for his match. He's with Shakira and Madeja, one of the few men who still looks like a star on this show. And here comes the legitimate high point of the show, because Steiner has a mic. He cuts a shoot promo on the Hulkster. He says Hogan is an old over-the-hill has-been who's been talking about his spot in wrestling. Steiner says that tonight Hogan's spot in wrestling is in the ring getting his ass kicked. Shakira might be the Hawk's favourite woman in wrestling. Hogan looks so generic at this point. His music is generic and he just looks miserable. What did they do to this man? They've somehow made Hogan look like a nobody. Hogan clotheslines Steiner down a couple of times and throws Steiner into the crowd. Oh no. Hugh Morris is in the crowd helping Hulk Hogan. Isn't Hogan supposed to be a good guy? Why is this essentially a handicap match? Why are the New Blood letting their guy get double teamed? Steiner hits a double punch to the nutsack and clotheslines them down. He screams over and over again for the New Blood to come and help him, but nobody helps him. Hogan hits the big boot and Hugh Morris smacks Steiner down. Why is Hugh Morris even in this spot? Steiner gets annoyed and walks out the 2-minute match. I don't blame Scotty, I would too. Hogan wins by countout. Wow, what a mess this show is. In the Grey Crew locker room, everyone is sitting down relaxing. Steiner walks in screaming and ruins their relaxation. He's grabbing Bischoff and Russo around the throat. He starts swearing and spitting everywhere. No idea why nobody came to help him. Buff Bagwell and Shane Douglas are a tag team. In fact, I think they're the champions. Buff didn't want to wear his belt to the ring for some reason. They'll face Chronic, Brian Adams and Brian Clark. Their double teams have Douglas down for a while until Bagwell takes Brian Clark out the ring, allowing Douglas to hit a smash to the slash zone. In the ring, Brian Clark hits a Widowmaker on Shane Douglas, but the match continues. Brian Clark hits Bagwell with a side slam as we cut to ringside where Franchise has hit Brian Adams with a belt. Bagwell connects with a blockbuster. For some reason, Douglas counts the pin, even though everyone else has been counting their own pins so far tonight. Douglas and Bagwell miss a double belt shot and get nailed with a double clothesline. Chronic kills Shane Douglas with a double chokeslam, which they call High Times. And that's the 3. So the New Blood have lost yet another match. I don't even understand why Chronic would be in the Millionaires Club. Chronic hold the belts up and the commentary team are now confused if that means Chronic are the champions or not. Bischoff is lecturing his troops again and tells them all to trust them. Russo looks like he's been getting a shoulder massage from Sean Stasiak. The New Blood are on the move, walk into the ring with a purpose and weapons. Well, they sure need those weapons because they can't win any matches on their own. The leader of the Grey Crew will cut a promo in the ring. He speaks for ages about nothing, like he always does, before calling out the Millionaires Club. Ric Flair does the talking for them. He says even though they've already proved themselves by winning every match tonight, they can have one more match. But this one will be a battle royal with the winner getting a shot for the world title at the pay-per-view. Apparently it's 11 on 11, but it's hard to see what's even going on. Those weapons sure don't help the New Blood. Unlike all the matches we've seen tonight, this one actually lasts for ages. Nobody seems to be getting chucked out. Now a bunch of random wrestlers run out. Vito, the Harris twins, then Booker T's music hits and it's Harlem Heat 2000 with Norman Smiley for some reason. Whose side are all these people even on? So many people in the ring, but the only person the crowd want to see is the man called Goldberg. They don't get him. Tank Abbott walks out like he's supposed to be a big deal and he joins the match. Most wrestlers just stood around doing nothing at all. You'd think with a title shot on the line there would be some urgency. Hennig is eliminated, so the New Blood certainly seem to be winning. Disco Inferno joins the match at some point. How is he an Inferno? Chronic are apparently eliminated. The cameras are so bad in this match that they miss everything which happens. The match just carries on forever with the numbers in the ring gradually thinning. Not sure why Steiner is eliminated before such greats as Big T, Tank and Tank Abbott. Yeah, the Misfits and Action have joined the match at some point too. Then Asia and Medusa decide to join the match because it's not as if they have anything else to do, there isn't a women's division. Now Molly Holly is here too. What's stopping someone from waiting until there's only 2 people left in the ring and then deciding to join the match? Hacksaw Jim Duggan gets a big entrance. It's like this match can't decide if it's a Battle Royal or a Royal Rumble. Jim Duggan is a janitor because Russo. Jim Duggan eliminates a bunch of people before eliminating himself. We cut away from the match to the car park. Someone has arrived, but we only see their boots for now. There's only about 3 or 4 members of the Millionaires Club left. Here's an idea. Why don't the New Blood just team up and eliminate them? It turns out that the man in the boots is the Macho Man. Everyone stops and looks terrified. Macho Man takes out all the New Blood guys and he throws out a bunch of people. Then he climbs out the ring through the middle rope, but that somehow eliminates him? Well, that was a pointless 30-second return. Slapnuts is gone. Slapnuts is gone. The final 4 are the Hawkster, Ric Flair, Kidman, and Shane Douglas. But now Bret Hart is here looking miserable. He smacks the Hawkster in the back with a chair and he falls out the ring under the bottom rope. Flair eliminates Kidman. Now Russo is stormed out. Ric Flair has the figure 4 on. Russo has a bat and somehow he hits the wrong guy. I have no idea what happened here. It wasn't exactly hard to hit Flair with that bat, was it? Russo runs away from Flair and then Flair wins with a bat shot on Shane Douglas. Ric Flair apparently gets the title shot at the pay-per-view. Now pay really close attention because a lot of stuff is about to happen. As celebrations are going on, Hogan goes through a table which the camera completely misses. Bischoff counts the 3 and apparently Kidman has won something. Jarrett and Page are fighting on the Titanton structure. Terry Funk walks past just as someone crashes through the stage. The camera completely misses it. By the way, Terry Funk was never seen again, so I've no idea why he walked out. The Macho Man is screaming, "It's over!" It sure is over. We're informed that Jarrett has just thrown DDP off the stage, and then the show ends. What happened here? What drugs were they taking? What drugs were the production team taking? This show was appalling, but the Battle Royal was especially bad. A bunch of bad 2-minute matches without referees and constant interference. People just made up their own rules. A completely one-sided faction war. No storylines outside the faction war either. And so much happening constantly that it's almost impossible to follow. And then the worst Battle Royal I've ever seen. Random people entering all over the place. People eliminating themselves for no reason. People going under the bottom rope somehow being eliminated. Camera constantly missing eliminations, and then it got worse as several big spots were completely missed by the cameras. And I'm just mostly mad because I wanted to see Hogan go through a table. Damn it. This would have made the episode of Thunder almost worthwhile. Damn it. Terrible. Now I've got a tough decision to make in comparison to the current champion of the How Bad Can It Be belt. That show featured 0 action for the first hour, but the second hour was not bad. Today's episode of Thunder was consistently bad the whole way through, minus a short Scott Steiner promo. This show was completely out of control and nothing made any sense. So I have to say, for being consistently bad, I think we've got a new champion here. So in honour of Vince Russo and WCW traditions around this time, it's going to be a short title reign. So we've got a new champion for the How Bad Can It Be belt. But if you know a worse episode of wrestling, smack it in the comments until it's felt. And it doesn't have to just be WCW episodes, just so you know. I don't know. I'm going to go cheer myself up now. I hear your girl's got a few hours free. And I know for a fact she's going to agree.